Hey, welcome everybody to MLB DFS Pre-Lock Live for Wednesday night, 7 p.m. start. We have ourselves, a 9-game slate today. We had an early 4-game slate earlier, which seemed to go pretty well, looks like right now, but we're going to look at tonight's main game slate. This is Pete Cole from YFC, yourfielderschoice.com. $35 a month for the first 6 months. Check us out on our Discord, is free. Check out our winning lineup room and so on. We especially small sports, niche sports, which has always been our specialty for years. And we're doing it again. A bunch of stuff going on tonight. We have NBA 7 p.m., 3 games, WNBA Showdown at 10 p.m. Eastern. Check out Walt's write-up. I just saw that on there. He's been crushing over there in WNBA. NHL starts in a half hour at 6:30, 3 games. What else we got? Golf tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, the Charles Schwab Open. West should have a write-up for that. Tennis, 5 a.m. tomorrow. We'll have something for that. And then Aussie football tomorrow night. And I also see Friday night, and European hoops is Friday also starting at noontime. So we have a lot going on. Also, our esports, I just saw under the lineup room, our esports is crushing this new, whatever it's called, this new VAL, some type of new esports. One of our guys, looks like we have a bunch of first place finishes already from some of our people. So check that out. That's Eric, Big E, taking care of that. These guys know their esports, and I have no idea. So all I see is first place, and all these winning lineups. So cool. Check us out. $35 a month. First 6 months, you can't beat it. I believe it's got to be the cheapest price in the industry, especially with the info you're getting, especially the small sports like WNBA and so on. Okay, so tonight we got rain in the forecast. Let me look at the latest. The Yankee game's already been postponed. That's done. The latest tweet I just saw from Kevin Roth, main line is clearing in Washington, but still potential for more storms. Actually, the forecast in New York is for the Mets game in Marquez is actually looks slightly improved as the main line races ahead. So, but we got a mess tonight, man. It looks like the whole East Coast is pretty much getting hit with rain and storms. The latest, we need to worry about Atlanta at Boston. We're talking about possibly in-game delay. This Colorado Met game, we're very interested in that, especially Marquez pitching for Colorado as one of our top pitchers tonight. The Yankee game across town has already been postponed, but I just saw a couple of tweets. They're saying that actually there's not even a cloud in the sky in New York, and they're taking batting practice over at Citi Field. So still it's very iffy. We need to talk about that with pitchers. And what else we got? Cincinnati, Washington, I just mentioned that. Looks like that's clearing up a little bit better. Slightly improved. And I guess that's it for the main stuff. Remember, Yankees, Toronto has been postponed. So main worries about is the Mets game, Washington game, and Atlanta at Boston, looks like. Vegas right now, looking at implied runs. The highest implied is Boston. Now they're up to 6. Wow, they started out at 4.8 this morning, and they've jumped already all the way to 6. They're playing Atlanta. Atlanta's also down to 5.1, the third highest implied, and the second highest implied is Washington going against Cincinnati. So I really don't know why the Boston implied rose so much. I mean, they're both them and Atlanta's in good spots, going against some pretty crappy pitchers tonight. I actually like both sides. Drew Smiley's been a gas can. I mean, Nick Pivetta has been a little bit better for Boston. That's obviously why I guess Boston is jumping there to 6 runs because of Smiley, who's been giving up a lot of crap this year. And then same with the Reds against the Nationals. Joe Ross has been a gas can, and Jeff Hoffman on the Reds have been a gas can. So, all right, pitching. You guys have any questions? Hit us up here in the YouTube chat. I'll try to answer it. If not, one of our coordinators will. And we're going to talk about cash first. Our cheat sheet has been updated. Check it out. Devin has updated it. By far the best cheat sheet in the industry. I've been using this for 6, 7, 8 years now, probably. It's got everything you need in one page. ownership, FanDuel, DK, all the data for the opponents, all the data for the players, ISO, WOBA, K percentage, walk percentage, handness, pricing, everything's on one page. So going to our cheat sheet, which said it's been updated about 10 minutes ago, Tyler Glasnow is far and away your SP1. All right, no doubt. He's going up against Kansas City. Don't overthink this in cash. Just run him out there. It's great matchup. He's in a pitcher's ballpark down here in Tampa. The Royals offense is definitely struggling. They're ranked right now 24th in OPS. Beside that one tough start that Glasnow had in Dunedin, which you can kind of nix that game, it's kind of course south. He's been dead on, 22 plus DK points, 8 of his 10 starts. Lock him in as your SP1. Don't even think about it. 10-5 DK, 10-7 FanDuel. Okay, for cash, the question is going to be, what do we do with SP2? If we know that the game's going to go, and there's going to be no early in-game delay in New York, the way to go is Marquez for Colorado. We see what the Mets have been putting out there. They've been pretty much putting out double-A lineups. Even tonight, you got from 5 to 9, Nito, Brendan Drury, Jose Peraza, Cameron Maben, 8th. I don't even know who's hitting cleanup actually for the Mets tonight. There's like a blank right there. So, but that puts Marquez obviously in a really good spot. Every pitcher, Gombers shut down the Mets. Who pitched yesterday? And drew a blank on Colorado. But every pitcher has shut down the Mets so far. They're banged up with injuries. There's nothing they can do about it. And it's pretty much, it looks like an expansion team. It looks like there was a draft this year and these are all expansion players. Let me see who this cleanup hitter is if I have it. But either way, if there's no rain or you want to risk it, it's Billy McKinney. So McKinney, who got traded from Milwaukee last night, is actually playing today, batting cleanup for the Mets. I'm not sure if he's on DK or not. I got to check that out. Marquez actually has been pretty good. He's always been a decent pitcher. The last 2 or 3 games, though, he's been pretty much on. He's 18 plus DK in 3 straight starts, 7 shutout innings, especially now he's in Coors, striking out 8 his last game. And now he's going up against the Mets, who's striking out 28% clip. Obviously, you expect a big outing from Marquez. If we have to worry about the rain, if we still have an hour, if we think it's going to be, if this game, we got a feeling it's going to be in-game delay, like by the 3rd or 4th inning, you can't use Marquez in cash. You got to go somewhere else. So going back to our cheat sheet, it looks like there's 3 plays, and there are 3 plays I'm obviously interested in too. They're all about the same. Trevor Bauer, 27%, Minor, 21%, Chris Paddock, 20%. So if there was no rain tonight, we'd be running Marquez and Glasnow, and that's it. And then Trevor Bauer for the Dodgers would be your GPP high-dollar pivot off of Glasnow. But if Marquez doesn't go or we got to worry about rain, I'm thinking now. I haven't actually made a lineup yet. I'm trying to see what kind of value pops up, but I'm wondering if we could run Glasnow and Bauer together and get 2 elite arms. I saw Jordan Alvarez was just scratched from Houston. The main reason I was worried about Bauer is Houston just doesn't strike out much. But with Alvarez out of the lineup now, it kind of does water it down a little bit more. You got Taylor Jones, 7th, Miles Straw, 8th, Maldonado, 9. Still a decent lineup, but Bauer is Bauer. Great spot. He could dominate any team. So what's his price? 10-2, actually not a bad price. So you can either go 2 high-priced guys with Bauer or Glasnow and find some value, or you can drop down to one of these 2 other pitchers, and they both have their flaws, they both have their warts, but you got first Mike Minor, probably who I'm actually leaning toward more now, going against Tampa Bay. They definitely struggle against lefties. Actually, they strike out the 2nd highest in MLB against lefties. Pitchers Park, Minor's probably a decent spot at 8-3. Or you can run with Chris Paddock, is Paddock more popular? Probably be a little. No, actually, mine's more popular. Or you can possibly run with Chris Paddock for San Diego. Not a bad spot against Milwaukee, who not been a very good lineup. And Paddock's looked good his last couple starts. His last 2 starts, he's actually allowed only 3 hits and 1 run in each start. Brewers, they're getting a little bit better now with Yelich back in the lineup. But overall, this team's been a bad hitting team. They rank dead last in OPS against righties. Strike out 27% The timing against righties. The problem with Paddock, though, is he's not been a real. His strikeouts have been down. He's at a career low right now. At 21%. But he's not. He's limiting hard contact. He's not getting the ball in the air, so that kind of brings it up. But Paddock's actually probably not in a bad spot. It's more of a kind of a flip of a coin between Paddock and Minor. That's why I may end up going with Bauer if I can find a value, and I'm going Bauer and Glasnow in cash. If we just get more word that Marquez is just a no-go for New York, and it's not worth it. And check back in our Discord 10 minutes before lock and see what the latest weather is. Right, and then before we end, we'll see if there's any more updates on the Mets. But right now, says they're trying to late start and play it and hope nothing else pops up. So that's the latest we have for weather. And Stephen Foster, the hour weather was the Queens. Exactly. And that's what I'm thinking. You don't want to get in a situation, and we've seen it before. We've seen it a month ago when a lot of people used DeGrom. The Mets locked, and 10 minutes later, they postponed it. Or you want to get into the second inning, and next thing you know, they postpone it, and then you're stuck there. So it's probably chancy. Running GPPs, Marquez would be great because if he does go, he's going to be a little owned. You can really get a jump up on GPPs. So probably right now, I'm probably leaning somewhere else unless we get more information that it clears up in New York. Okay, that's it for pitcher. Unless you have any other questions. I was really interested in the kid for Toronto today against the Yankees. But now the Yankees game is canceled. So there goes that. And is there anybody else? Maybe Cueto for San Francisco against Arizona GPPs. But Cueto has actually pitched well this year. And he's keeping the ball in the yard. So GPP only. All right, so let's go around the bases. Once again, our cheat sheet is updated. Let's start with catcher. Nobody's jumping off the page. The highest projected catcher right now for ownership we have is Alex Avila for Washington at 17%. Where's Avila batting? And he's batting 7th. He's got the positive split against Hoffman. Actually not a bad spot at 3.6. If you want to pay up, my top plays is I love Buster Posey again. Posey has just been doing nothing but crushing right-handers. I'm looking at his advanced metrics, 231 ISO, 406 WOBA against Merritt Kelly. He's kind of a reverse splits pitcher, though. Puts Kelly in play. Will Smith is in play. As a pay-up, is Smith and the Dodgers are out. Smith's batting cleanup against Luis Garcia. Smith is a reverse splits hitter, definitely. 267 ISO, 451 WOBA. Pretty damn good numbers. But my favorite catcher today is Mike Zunino. If you don't use minor, you got Mike Zunino for Tampa. He is batting 8th where he usually bats, going against the lefty minor, and Zunino crushes lefties. Looking at his metrics, 553 ISO, 512 WOBA, 342 batting average. These are all numbers that jump off the page. It's not a bad sample size. It's about 50 at bats. Zunino definitely could be in line for a home run tonight. His fly ball percentage is up. His contact is probably over 40%. I mean, Minor's not a bad pitcher, but the way Zunino's been hitting this year, I would definitely. I've made a couple calls on Zunino already this year, but this is definitely, it could be a home run call. Fly ball 57%, hard contact 50%. He's crushing lefties. And we do know Mike Minor does have a problem giving up home runs. 40% hard contact, 42% fly ball rate. It all adds up for Mike Dinger tonight. But remember, though, Zunino's boomer bust. He doesn't hit a home run, he's going to strike out. But a 3.7 is probably worth the risk. If you can, it's kind of high, though, if you're going to use 2 high-priced pitchers. But if you can get there, you use Zunino, a catcher. Anybody else? I don't think. I haven't really looked at too many lineups to see if there's anybody that's down there as a punt. Dom Nunez, he's 3.6. Nah. Maybe Caratini, 3.3. I'll just go to Zunino then. Maldonado was 2.7. Nope, he's going against Bauer. Can't do that. It's pretty much, I see Carson Kelly's back against Cueto. But I'm not going to pay $4.8 for Kelly when I can just go to Posey. Oh, here's the other. I didn't even think about Christian Vasquez. We may see his ownership actually jump up as the close to lock as we do one more update. Vasquez also in a good spot today. Going against Smiley. Anybody that knows Drew Smiley knows he's a gas can. Vasquez is batting 8th today, though, but righty on lefty. Smiley's got 45% hard contact, 44% fly ball. Vasquez is hitting the ball in the air 46% of the time. That kind of adds up for a dinger, too. So Vasquez is right up there, too, with Posey and Will Smith. All three of them going to pay up. That's catcher. First base. Going back to our cheat sheet right now, the highest projected first baseman, we got two of them tied. Freddie Freeman, your high price guy, Bobby Dalbec, your low price guy, both of them around 22%. Then you got Josh Bell hanging around there also at 16%. So I don't know. I've been burned a lot by Freddie this year. He's probably still the play. He probably is the top play. I do like Muncy a lot, though. He's got 6 multi-hit games in his last 12 going against Garcia. So Freeman's probably got the better matchup. I mean, I think Garcia's a decent pitcher. I'm probably not going to pay all the way up there for first base, though. If I'm going to end up using Bauer and Glasnow, you got Josh Bell. He's actually starting to get in the group. Had a home run yesterday. 3 multi-hit games out of his last 4. He's in a good spot. And we talked about Dalbec. Dalbec is a Boomer best play, but against Smiley, I think he's actually in a good spot. Righty on lefty. He's putting the ball in the air, definitely hitting the ball hard. And right now, actually, 423 WOBA, 348 ISO. Right there, I think Dalbec's your top value play at first base right there. Looking at those advanced metrics. Let's say Rowdy Tellez is not playing now. Sandoval, you can use him as a GPP. He's actually a DH today because they're playing in a AL Park. He gets a chance to hit. I could see him going yard. He's batting 6th against Pavetta. But if anything, I'd probably drop down to Bobby Dalbec. If not, go all the way up to Freddie. Or Muncy. So if you go to second base, I think you can also use Muncy at second. Because with Semien was canceled, Muncy's probably the top pay up at second. I don't really see anybody else up there that I feel like I have to have. I'm looking around at the cheat sheet. Our projected ownership is Kiki Hernandez is 25%. FanDuel and DK. So DK is pretty much a must play. He's going to be chalky. FanDuel, though, you play Kiki or Albies. They're both, because Albies is so cheap. It's only $3,100 on FanDuel. I guess you can play either one on FanDuel, but on DK, I think you just probably run out Kiki. Yeah, I think Kiki's kind of almost a core play. Yeah. I do like Muncy. I like to get him in somewhere, though, but it might be tough. Gavin Lux. I like Lux for Dodgers. He's starting to hit now. He's definitely in lefties. If anybody hits Garcia, it's lefties. And Lux is heating up. And you also have Mike Bichot for Tampa. Way down as a value punt. 284 ISO. Against lefties, that's Mike Minor. But if you're playing cash, you just lock in Kiki. Leading off with the positive platoon against Drew Smiley. Don't overthink that, I guess. Just use Kiki. He's actually been hitting well the last 10 games either. I mean, 2. Career 814 OPS against lefties. Anybody else? If the Met game goes, Ryan McMahon's hot. He's got home runs in back-to-back games. GPP play. If probably, I think Stroman's a decent, more of a real-life pitcher, but Stroman's not bad. But McMahon's hot. GPP. Cesar Hernandez also kind of hot. I figured he would be higher owned, but he's not. Well, yeah, he's looking at 15%. So I guess he's in play. You want to use lefties against Jose Urena. They're going against Detroit. Urena is a shitty pitcher. You want lefty bats, and he's been dreadful against lefties. Hernandez got 3 home runs his last 8. But Kiki's your play at second in cash. Don Day says Hernandez, Cleveland, GDP, definitely. Third base, it's all spread out ownership. Anybody from Suarez, Austin Riley, Why don't I see J-Ram? J-Ram's in the lineup, right? J-Ram's not. Yeah, he's batting third. So all these guys are bunched together. DK, nobody's bunched together. I mean, nobody's running away with it. FanDuel, Suarez looking at 30%, and J-Ram 25. So mainly because on third base, Suarez is only 2.6 on FanDuel. Probably the play in cash. He's only 4.3 on DK. He's had a horrible season. He's only batting like 150. But he did home run last night, and he's now has 3 homers in his last 7. And he's leading off against a gas can righty, Joe Ross. So I do see why Suarez is popular at 4.3. If I could get the J-Ram, I'm getting to him. He's still hot. He's got that power speed combo. He's going against Arena. J-Ram's a switch hitter. He'll hit from the left side, and Urena can't handle right-handed bats. I mean, left-handed bats. So J-Ram's a pay up. Suarez is probably going to popular play. Austin Riley, though, he finally didn't get hit last night. I still consider him hot, though, destroying right-handed pitching. He's hanging around there. And one other play is Evan Longoria should be hitting 5th tonight. I don't see the Giants out yet, but Longoria has just been totally crushing the ball quietly. Most people aren't paying attention to him. The Mets are postponed. So there you go. So get Marquez and the Mets out of your lineups. That just came across. So now it looks like we're either going to go Bauer or the minor Paddock for your SB2. All right, so you guys listening, the Mets Rockies is postponed. All right, so back to third base. Talking about Evan Longoria. Kelly's a reverse splits pitcher, which actually is an upgrade to Longoria then. He had a huge game last night, 3 for 4 with a home run. His second 3-hit game in his last 4. So I'd have no problem running Longo out there at 3.9, which actually is not a bad price at all for Longoria against Merritt Kelly. The poppy play is going to be Suarez leading off. I said he's batting 150, but he's starting to hit the ball a little bit harder. Anybody else? Don saying Diaz or Castro, GPP at third base. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, especially Castro is starting to heat up a little bit. Yandy Diaz. Where's Diaz batting in the order? And he's batting second, not a bad spot. He definitely hits lefties better than righties. So yeah, Diaz is in a good spot too at 3-1. Definitely good. That's a good call. Good GPP calls. The cheat sheet will be updated one more time. But I'm curious to see what Suarez is going to be at the last update. Honestly, I don't want to use him, but I feel like I may be moved into almost have to use him if it's going to be so high owned. If not, I mean, I'm going to Longo or up to J-Ram. Okay, shortstop. Us here at YFC, we're projecting kind of a tie again. We got Trey Turner and Bogarts, both around 20%. Mondesi looking at 18% only because of his price, but he's going against Glasnow. Same at FanDuel, Turner and Bogarts, both high owned. Looks like you're going to end up using Turner or Bogarts in your lineup for cash. Dancy Swanson's all sitting there at 4K, who's been hot. No problem doing that. But I think Turner's expensive. Tatis is really expensive. I mean, you can always use Tatis too, but he's like 6'6". My favorite play today is Bogarts. I was looking at him earlier. Anytime you get Bogarts against a lefty in Fenway, to me, you play him. He's got a 4.11 WOBA. As we talked about Smiley earlier, Smiley's going to get hit up. My play is Bogarts. And you're also going to save a few $100. So Trey's 6'4". We're getting back now to old school DK price. I'm going to picture some of these stars. He's 6'4". Bogarts is 5'7". $700 difference. And Bogarts, I think, is a great spot bat in third. My call is Bogarts. We can never go wrong with Turner, especially against Jeff Hoffman. You got on base, steal, boom. Crawford, that's what I was going to get to next is Brandon Crawford. I love Crawford this year. One of my favorite players. He's hitting 333 over his last 10 games. He's also 6 for 15 lifetime against Urena. That's a pretty big stat. I'm not a huge BBP guy, but I see numbers like that over like 12 at bats. I look and batting 400. So Crawford is definitely in play. No, that's Rosario. I'm sorry. Crawford is just a good spot. 424 roll with 296 ISO. So let's get to Rosario, who's got that 6 for 15 lifetime against Urena. He's in a good spot also. Where is he? I'm assuming he's second in the order. No, he's not even playing. All right, Knicks. I'm Matt Rosario. Why do I think he's playing? So this is kind of a weird. So they got Luplow batting second today against a righty. Rosario cleanup. Ramirez fifth. Huh. So no Rosario. Nix that. So there's really no value plays I really like unless I went to Mondesi, and I don't like doing that against Swanson. So Scott Green just made a mention of the weather. Damn, about the Boston game now. I hate to say it, but I think Boston's a little risky too. It starts dry, but the line moves in during the game. It doesn't just race though. They get man. So yeah, I think you almost have to. I almost think you almost have to shy away from some of these guys in cash. GVPs, go ahead and play them. I think you're in good shape because they're going to be so low owned. So maybe then you do run to a Swanson's in Boston too, to a Trey if you have the money. So yeah, I think Boston is going to be tough from what I'm seeing now. The whole East Coast. We'll see what the cheat sheet looks like once it's updated one more time. But if Bogarts just run to Trey Turner, Josh Rojas, one of my favorites, if he's playing today for Arizona, and he is leading off against Cueto, I don't mind using Josh Rojas, shortstop eligible 4-1 against Cueto. I could maybe zig to that. Like I said, I also like Crawford too. And man, you got Tatis against a lefty. Wow. So maybe Bogarts is a GBP play from what I look at with this weather. Okay, so going to the outfield, my top play really was JD. So I think you got to move that more to a GBP. Anytime you get JD against a lefty in Fenway, you play him. Of course, the top play is going to be Acuna, Soto. I'm starting to waver against playing some of these high-priced outfielders when there's so much value, especially if we go Bauer tonight. So if we look around and see what else we have that's in play for the outfield, I mean, Acuna and Soto definitely in play. I like Mike Yastrzemski, probably a GBP play. You can use Kiki in the outfield. Boston. Wow. So I'm looking at Eddie Rosario batting cleanup today, probably in a good spot because Rosario is a batting cleanup today against the righty. So you get Rosario's in play. Here's another play I like is Dickerson for San Francisco at only 3K. I like Dickerson. You can run an outfield of Dickerson. Tommy Pham is only 3.5. Pham is actually playing much better. I don't think a lot of people realize that right now Pham has got double-digit DK in 5 straight. He started out so bad. Will Myers is Myers in the lineup. For some reason, Myers is batting 6th. Myers, 280 ISO against lefties. He's in play. To me, it's a DK misprice at 3.2, even though he's struggling. Akil Baddoo, 10 for 19 in his last 10 games. You can put him in there. And then my sneaky play is Ender Inciarte for Atlanta, who's still playing. He is 11 for 25 against Pavetta, 440 batting average, but it's a Boston game. So I get sense of all this. Kind of nixing out the Boston guys. I mean, I guess we got to look more towards 7, but I got a feeling Eddie Rosario is going to end up being the chalk play, and at least you can use him with the weather. Dickerson, you could use for the weather. Rojas, you can play shorter outfield. Maybe just run like a Tommy Pham and a Myers instead of trying to mess with these Boston guys. It's a big decision to make, and I guess we'll just wait to a little bit before 7 and see what the latest forecast is. Especially you seeing the Mets cancel. I'm not in Boston, obviously, but I'm curious what it's like up there when the Mets are canceled and Yankees. It's going to be tough here. So you could be looking at 3 games canceled, at least 3 games with weather issues. And that's not even talking about the Washington game either, which they say is getting a little bit better. Anybody else? I didn't even mention Jesse Winker. He crushes righties. He's definitely in play. Nick Castellanos, he's hit 514, 7 multi-hit games over his last 10. And then you got some of these Tigers. Grossman. Lefties have really taken advantage of Tristan McKenzie, so you can put Grossman out there. Who else? Is probably it then, beside Grossman. Like I already mentioned, I like Dickerson. I like Baду. I like Myers. I like Pham. I like Rosario. So if you go with 2 high-priced pitchers, there's enough outfielders where you don't have to pay for a $5K outfielder tonight. All right, any questions on the outfield? So you definitely want to be available near lock. You definitely want to look at our cheat sheet near lock. It's going to change, obviously, with the Met cancellation and the Boston weather. Looking at my top stacks tonight, Reds, Giants, and Red Sox. So right now, probably Reds and Giants. I have a core of Glasnow, Kiki, and JD that may end up changing as we get closer to lock now. But I think all those guys are in great plays. Especially if I end up running a Glasnow, Bauer, my core is going to change because I'm going to be going a lot of value. So I think there's enough though. So just check back for lock. I'll try to put my core in Discord. Stephen Fawcett is going safe for the Arizona game, hoping the roof is open. That's a good question. I have it up here right now, if the roof is open or not. Tonight is Wednesday, right? The roof is open. Roof's open. Good call. Going safe for the Arizona game and Cleveland game. And you can get plenty of bats there with that Arizona Giants game. You like the Giants. The Cleveland game. Yeah. I mean, that might be the smart move here. Definitely. Giants hit last night. They could definitely hit again today against Merrill Kelly. I said he had one good game last game. I think he had like 12 Ks. So that was against the Dodgers. But beside that, he's been nothing but trash most of the season. I should say trash. He's getting like 10 to 15 DK points. But he really did. He had a good game against the Dodgers last game. Still, I have no problem picking on him. But I agree. Focus on those games. Focus on Cleveland. Focus on who else? Who else we even have left here? You can focus on the Padres offense, definitely. No problems there. You don't want to mess too much with Kansas City, Tampa Bay. You got 2 decent pitchers. Yeah, and Cleveland. And Washington, that might end up being a problem too. So you want to check back before lock. Okay. Any other questions before I get the price picks? Also I have a couple price picks in my article. It's not as cut and dry as it was yesterday. There was a lot of nice pitching ones I liked, especially the Twins. I have Marquez over 6.5, obviously not that now. I have Louis Garcia over 4.5 Ks. I still like that for Houston. And I have Red Sox, JD and Bogarts over. So, if they're going to play, you're probably going to get it. I have JD over 1.5 total bases, Bogarts over 1.5 hits and walks. But we've been crushing prize picks. And just feel like if you don't feel comfortable, but somebody, especially MLB, they're tight. If you don't feel comfortable, just play another sport. Maybe tonight with all this weather, you might want to. I would probably maybe start shying away from these Boston guys. But I look at Garcia over 4.5. If I see anything else, I'll throw it in Discord. All right, guys. Any questions? If not, we are out of here. I'll check back in Discord before lock and see what's going on with the weather. Talk about what pitching I'm going to use. And I think that is it. Thanks to Mickey, our producer. We are out of here. Back tomorrow.